This is Rock Leach with Social Fire. Now, Donald Trump has become the next president. He's president elect of the United States. And we've got to deal with that. But there is so much misinformation that's going on that it's beginning to be a great level of fear in many people. You don't want to miss this video. Now, when we look at Donald Trump, many people are fearful right now. Let's be very honest, very transparent. The fear in the United States right now, leading up until the actual inauguration, is quite palpable. I mean, it is at a high level. You've got many Democrats, because Kamala Harris was not elected, feel like that the world is over. Now, I want to address one particular thing that's really gripping, and that is this spirit of fear. Fear right now in the United States is at an all-time high. I mean, there are several things that people are worried about when it comes to, the polarization. Many people fear his leadership could intensify political and social divisions. When it comes to judicial and political appointments, people are worried there. Foreign relations, people are worried about how other leaders are going to react, or what friendships or enemies will be made with the Donald Trump administration. Even the environmental policy. I mean, just to name a few things, criminal justice and the rule of law. All of these things are people are worried. They are worried right now, and fear is taking grip on the United States. Now, here's the thing that I've got to look at. I remember years ago being a little boy when Ronald Reagan was elected president of the United States. I remember being a little boy in the room when my grandfather was watching the television, because he uh, liked to watch politics and keep up with what was going on. And I remember his dislike of Ronald Reagan. I remember his dislike. And so I remember him talking about, and several things, talking about all the different policies and different things that were going to place that did not benefit black folk. Now, let's be real. I want to put that out there, that did not benefit black people. And I was a young boy then. But here's the thing that I do remember. When Ronald Reagan, and he did become president of the United States, when he did become president, we still have to trust God. Here's the thing that many people are missing, because right now online, especially social media, you'll see all kind of things. People getting text messages for being picked up the next day to go pick cotton, and all kind of things. I mean, people are just having, the evil people, the evil ones are having a field day with all of this misinformation. But here's the thing that I want to make sure that we never forget. There's a passage of scripture that is quite strong in this regard here, and that is Second Timothy. For God have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. In this climate that we're in right now, you've got family members that are going against each other because of political differences. You've got friends who are now enemies because of political differences. And love is being challenged. It's being challenged. And not only is it being challenged, but even church affiliation. People are forgetting that Donald Trump was elected, Kamala Harris lost, and it was not Jesus Christ that lost the election. I have to give you this, because we're missing a big point here, is that whoever is in the presidency, whoever it is and whoever it have been, we've always relied on "in God we trust." We've got to trust in God even in this, because when we're functioning by fear, what happens is that it takes away love and our sound mind. We're not thinking from a rational perspective. We're not thinking from a grounded perspective, and we're moving by a lot of fear, a lot of turmoil that's fear based, misinformation based. What fear does is, FEAR, is false evidence appearing real. I have a question for you. Is God still in control? Is God still on the throne? Does this take anything away from God? And does this election surprise God? I want you to answer that. I really, really want you to answer that question. Does this candidacy and the person who won surprise God? Now, this video is not about who should be president and who should not be president. I'm way beyond that. I'm just wanting to address this fear that we have in our country right now. And we've forgotten that God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I've got another scripture that I want to give you really quick, which is Proverbs 3:5-6. It says, trust. I need y'all to hear me. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding, your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. One of the things that we've gotten away from is trusting in God himself. Now, I'm not going to give that broad paint with a broad brush and say God as though we're referring to any God. I'm referring to Jesus Christ, the gospel, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But as we look at this here, you've got to understand that we've gotten away from that and we've started going by our own mind. We've started leaning to our own understanding. And when we start leaning to our own understanding and away from God, we get into this level of fear and we're not thinking with our sound mind, our right mind, a clear mind, a thought of precision. We're not thinking from that level there. And this is one of the things that gets us off track. And right now, I just believe that we need to I need everybody that's listening to this, that watches this video. I want you to think to yourself, me and my house, have God ever failed us? Have God ever failed us? Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this because I want you to hear me well. It doesn't matter who the president of the United States is, God will still get the glory. God can still use whoever is there. I don't believe that there's anybody that God cannot use. God can and could use a Donald J. Trump in the United States to get the country back where it needs to be. We are fearful because what we see is not what we normally are used to seeing. We're seeing someone who has a bad resume. I want you to be real with yourself. How clean is your resume? How wonderful is your resume? Did God ever stop using the foolish things to confound the wise? And I just want to say that because we forget that God can use us. You know, people didn't believe in you at one time, and God stepped in and allowed you to be where you are, and he got the glory out of your life. Can God still do that with Donald J. Trump? I'm asking that question because we've gotten so sideways to even indirectly suggest that God can't do nothing with that, or that this surprises God. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Kamala didn't win. Listen, if she had won, if she did win, I don't care who's in charge. God have not left the throne, and God is still in control. I ultimately want to know what you think about that because fear is just so crazy right now. I've just gotten back from vacation with my wife, and I don't post or do any social media, anything like that, while I'm with my wife in that regard. And I'm back, and it's just so much fear that I see everywhere. Everybody is fearful. Grocery prices are going up. Listen, are you still eating? Are you still eating? That's the question. We've got this going on. We are focusing right now in this climate on only the negative things, that we're missing the positive things. You and your family not going hungry, and then somebody's going to say, "Well, it won't be long before we go." Well, you keep with that thinking. You keep with that thinking. I'm just a believer that my God shall supply all my needs according to His riches, not the riches of the United States. His riches and glory, and my God isn't insufficient. All right. I want to know ultimately, what do you think about that? Jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Let's go.